Hey David, this is Alfonso. Again, this video is going to supplement the email I sent you earlier on how you can use a formula to start becoming or locating notes on the fretboard once you've memorized the major scale notes on the E string and on the A string. So again, first step is to memorize those major scale notes on the E string. Let's first go through that together. So open E, I'm just striking the open E string, then followed by an open E to an F is essentially this first fret here. So a whole step from G, F to G, whole step from G to A, whole step from A to B, half step from B to C, whole step from C to D, and then whole step from D to E. Again, remember there's whole steps and half steps. The half steps are from E to F and then from B to C. Those are essentially the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on the major scale notes. So let's look at the A string. Again, open A. Remember, A to B is a whole step, so here's your B here. A, B, oh, sorry. C, so it's A, B, C. From B to C is a half step. C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. And then finishing off to the octave is back to A. So you're going to want to memorize all those notes just on the E string and just on the A string. Now remember, your low E and the high E are the same, so you have essentially memorized all the notes, the major scale notes on the E string, on the high E string, because you would have memorized those notes on the low string. So here's the formula. Remember I mentioned about if you find a source note, the root note you're starting from, that being, I said in the email, I think I used F as an example. We'll use the E string as our first way to locate the EF note on the D string. Using this formula, we're going to follow F, go up 2 frets, and then go up 2 strings. Here is the F note on the D string. Again, the formula is I start with my root note or the source note that I'm using E. The E string is my reference. I'll go up 2 frets and then 2 strings. And now I've located the F note on the D string or your fourth string using the note on the E string as my initial reference. Okay? Kind of clear as mud. Let's use another example. Let's find, once you've memorized them, you'll be able to say, okay, here's the A note on my low E string. I'll just go up 2 frets and 2 strings. Now on the 4th string or the D string, I'm able to locate that A note quickly by going 2 frets up and then 2 strings up. Here is the A note on my D string using the A note on your E string as your reference. Okay, we're going to follow that same formula using the A string. Once you memorize the major scale notes on the A string, you'll be able to say, okay, where is the C note? Immediately you'll go to that note following that formula. You'll go up 2 frets, 2 strings. But now I'm able to locate the note on the G string or your 3rd string. But I'm using the notes on the A string that I've memorized as my reference. Again, let's find the E note. Here's the E note that you've memorized on the A string. Following that formula, you go up 2 frets, 2 strings. Now I found the E note on the 3rd string or your G string by simply using my reference as part of the formula, right? I don't have to memorize all the notes on the G strings or all the notes on the, I don't have to memorize all the notes on the D string or the 4th string or the notes on the third string or the G string because I'm using, again, the notes I've memorized on the E string, the notes I've memorized on the A string as part of my formula. Let's try that again. Let's find the G note. Let's find the G note on the E string. There it is right there. Following the formula, just going up 2 frets, 2 strings, there it is. I found the G note on the D string or the 4th string just by using that formula. Again, I've memorized all the notes, all the major scale notes on the E string and the A string as my reference point, the formula. So again, if I used, okay, so where is the G note on the A string? Right there. I've memorized that. So using that formula, I'm able to go to 2 frets up, 2 strings. There is the G note on the, well, it happens to be the G string because I've just got a full octave up, right? Okay? So there's the formula to find the notes, if you will, from the G string, excuse me, the D string and the G string. Don't have to memorize all the notes. In fact, I don't have to memorize any of the notes because I'm using my E string and the A string as part of my formula. So, what about this string here? The second string of the B string. How are you able to use the formula to find that note? Well, it's a little bit different. There's a slightly different formula that I use to find those, and this is the way you use it. You'll want to find the note on the A string as your reference. Alright? So let's use that example. You've memorized, you will have memorized all the notes, the major scale notes on the A string, so you'll be able to locate, let's say, the D string, the D notes right away, because you've memorized it. Now, here's the formula. You actually want to go down 2 frets, but then go immediately to the B string. Okay? Again, the formula is, let's find that D note on the A string. You'll want to go down 2 frets, and then immediately go to the B string, or your second string. There is the D note on the B string, or your second string, using that formula. Let's try that again. Let's find the G note on the A string. Right away, memorization. You've memorized that. The formula is go down, or excuse me, you want to go backwards 2 frets, and then immediately go to the B string. There's G. Using that formula. So again, this is the initial stages of trying to locate all the notes on the fretboard by using that formula, but only memorizing the major scale notes on the E string, your thickest string, and the A string. So the key is memorize those major scale notes first, following that formula to locate the different notes on the fretboard. And it's going to be a little different if you try to find the notes on the B string or your second string. You have to use that other formula where you start with the notes you've memorized on the A string, going backwards 2 frets, and then immediately going to that B string. So let's review one more time. If I use my E string, my low E string as my reference point, I'll be able to memorize all the major scale notes. I'll find the F note here, where I use that as my reference to find the F note on the 4th string by using that formula. 1, 2, 1, 2, and here it is. Same thing with the A string. You use that reference to find the notes that are on the 3rd string, your G string. Immediately going, here is the C note. I can go up 2 frets, 2 strings, and here is the C note found on the G string of the 3rd string, using that same formula. Now, to try to find the notes on that B string, you have to use a different formula, but it's still memorizing the A string. Again, the major scale notes on the A string. Again, here's D. I just go 2 frets backwards and then immediately go to that B string. So here's D. Again, here's D on the A string that you've memorized. Immediately going backwards 2 frets and then go to that B string right away. Now I know here is the D note on that string. All right, and certainly again you will have memorized all the major scale notes on the E string. It's the same notes here on the high E string because they're the same string. Okay, hopefully that helps out. Give it a shot and let me know if you have any other questions or if this was a little too confusing. We can walk through it again during our next lesson in April. All right, take care. Bye-bye now.